Hey folks, welcome back. I got a quick update for you here on the patch that just dropped for Tarkov. And even though it wasn't on the roadmap that we got a couple of days ago, this is actually a pretty big patch. It's a big W patch. There's lots of bug fixes, a new event, lots of things like that. So let's get into it, get you updated so you know what's going on. Okay, so here's BSG's announcement for the patch. They said it was going to take 5 hours. It actually took like 8 before they got everything back up and running, but we got patch notes and everything. I'll make sure to throw a link down for you, but the servers are live and we do have the patch notes. First up, they expanded map-to-map travel. They got rid of the marathon mode. So if you go into your raid, there's no longer a place to check marathon. It's not there anymore. It's pretty simply gone. Though I have to go back and look. This map seems like it got bigger, and maybe it's just a sizing issue. I don't know, but like I don't remember there being this much empty space. I guess I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe this is leading to something special coming. I doubt it. I think they just missized it, but we'll see. But back to the patch notes. Transitions between the locations are now available in raid as normal, even on PvE mode. So PvE folks, you have the map-to-map travel now. Transitions between locations are now available for player scavs as well, which this is opening up an interesting thing we haven't tested yet. I haven't seen anybody test, but we'll probably try to do it on stream. The new transits are Streets of Tarkov to Ground Zero. Actually, you know what we're going to do? Okay, so instead of just going through and reading all the transits, we're going to show them to you. The first thing, obviously, that is up, and I did forget one here, is there's two-way transitions. Every one of these that existed now goes in both directions. So keep that in mind that these go both directions now. All of the orange, every line that you have connected here is two-way. So I think I'm going to get rid of the arrows, and we're just going to understand that if there's a connection, that it goes both directions, that there's a connection there. So let me go through and undo this real quick, and we'll use the power of editing to fix it. Okay, so here's all our original connections, and now there have been added two ways. So if, you know, Factory and Woods had a connection, there's now a Woods Factory. That's what I'm trying to say, because these used to be one way except for the lab. Those used to go back and forth, but now there's a Streets back to Ground Zero, all that kind of stuff. So here are going to be our new connections. We'll do those in green, and we'll do them with like a swoopy deal. So the first one that we'll talk about is Customs to Reserve, which makes sense that you do that because Reserve is right next to Customs. You can see it actually on part of the map. The next kind of major one is Factory and, I don't know why I did that, Factory and the Lab. So you can go from Factory to the Lab. Now this one is only a one way. I don't know if it's an oversight. I don't know if there's some lore there, but there is no connection, at least in the patch notes, from the Lab to Factory. I'm double checking. I'm not double checking. I'm like quadruple checking right now that this is the case, but I'm pretty sure. And maybe it just didn't make the patch notes and there's one and somebody found it. I don't know. So if you know any more about that, let me know. But there is only Factory to Lab. There is no back and forth yet. I poked BSG on Twitter about it. Maybe they'll add one in a patch kind of quick like, and it'll be cool. It'll be cool. Because I think the Lab could technically connect to lots of different places, maybe only in one way. But who knows? Now, the next one is going to be Woods to Lighthouse. And just guessing on this one, it's probably going to be the Northern Extract, you know, up past the treatment plant on the road that I think it's just called Northern. You take that, and that's got to be the only way you can get to Woods. I don't know how else you would do it. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's the car. We'll have to wait and see what some of these are. It's going to be pretty interesting. I don't know why I put those markers on there because it is two-way. That's a two-way transition. There is a Woods to Lighthouse and a Lighthouse to Woods, both been added. And going through this, I just realized there's another one that's missing, and we'll put those on there, but there should be a Shoreline to Reserve back and forth here. The D2 extract on Reserve has the same markings as the Scav Bunker extract on Shoreline. So that strikes me as a good transition point, or even Red Rebel. Maybe Red Rebel is only usable, and people are going to hate me for saying this, but Red Rebel is only usable as a transition between Reserve and Shoreline. Like if you're going to use it, you have to go to Shoreline. Like you don't get to extract, but I'm getting ahead of myself. But there's definitely should be a connection here both ways, just like there should be a one between the Lab and Factory, I believe. And to be honest with you, I don't know, but I would suspect that if Terra Group's office is in Ground Zero, there would be one here as well. That is my assumption on it. I could be completely wrong, but that's just kind of how I feel, I guess you could say. I don't know. So that's the map. Let me know how you guys feel about this. I know it doesn't look like a lot, but because they added the back and forth, there's basically double from what I drew, right? Because the orange ones each got an additional thing. So, you know, when you look at the patch notes, it's a big long list. Also on that, as we're in the patch notes here, the transit activation time has been reduced to 1 minute after the start of the raid. So instead of 7 minutes, it's 1 now. And then some marathon event tasks have been adjusted as long as the marathon achievement, but remain for completion. So if you go look at marathon, I'm not sure what they changed because it just says use the transit from ground zero, from labs, from streets, from blah, 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 blah. I think, I don't know if this has changed again. If you know, if you're still working on it and you see something different as far as this or some of the tasks, you know, for example, you had fences task, which it doesn't show. I just click show completed and it's not there, which is kind of weird. Hopefully they didn't get rid of that, but maybe they did. They said they were going to get rid of some. So just let us know in the comments if you guys see those things. It's stuff I can't really check. Okay, so there is the map to map travel again with PvE, marathon strike or marathon tasks, all that stuff adjusted, but you can still do the achievement. So that's good. I think that's good. I would have been really bad for them to take that out. Anyways, so Mortar strikes. This is going to be a whole video on itself, I think, once we get it figured out. There's a chain of events. There's a bunch of stuff, but we'll get into it. They actually did a video as well. I'll include a link to that. Go watch it. It's kind of cool, and it explains the event some as well. A new in-game event, Mortar Strike, has started. The locals have found a stockpile of mortars and are now regularly shelling the open terrain from safe positions. During the event, the following locations will be targeted by mortar fire: Customs, Woods, Shoreline, and Reserve. Big thing here. This is an event, so how things are happening now are not how they're going to stay. Basically, the mortars go on all raid, and there's airdrops tied in with it as well. Get to that in a second, but that's not how it's always going to be. When we first got airdrops were happening constantly, over and over and over again. Every raid when they first introduced airdrops, what was that, almost 2 years ago? So this is just the introduction to get people used to it. Again, Customs, Woods, Shoreline, and Reserve. And the mortars seem to only hit around where the special airdrop is. They are happening PvP and PvE. This event looks like it's PvE as well, so you guys have that. And then it says scavs, bosses, and other bots react appropriately when mortar attacks start. So my guess is they take cover or they get the hell away. I've seen a couple of clips from other streamers running this and playing. The blast radius, at least to concuss you, is huge. I don't know what the kill radius is, so I wouldn't play around with it too much. IRL mortars are a kind of a crazy thing. I know we saw in the trailer that mortars were landing really close to the players. That ain't a thing. That is not a thing. Even with the little bitty mortars, you don't want to be within many feeder meters of a mortar going off IRL. So beyond that, we added a new task line for in-game event. Players will be able to obtain unique rewards related to the event completed to the tasks for completing the tasks. I read that completely wrong. A special equipment item that warns about the start of mortar fire in advance to help avoid dangerous areas. A special consumable that initiates mortar fire at the player's position. Players will receive a unique achievement as a reward for finishing the task line, available only during the event. So if you're one of those achievement grinders, you need to get this done. So for tasks, I'm going to stick with the mortar one. We got 2 with this update. This is the start of the reserve task, or reserve, the mortar task line. So into the Inferno, I'm going to go back and read this. I'm not going to do it for the video, but it just basically says visit an active mortar strike area, any specified location, Shoreline, Woods, Reserve, Customs. So you go do that. It's going to progress the quest. It starts off pretty easy. Okay, so we've got into the Inferno on the wiki. It's going to lead to a task line. I just want to show you this guys' stuff because of what it goes to. People don't have it updated yet. Long story short, you go through this, you're going to end up with a little beeper, pager, vibrator, depends on what you want to call it. It looks like a little radio. It's going to vibrate in game. You can't feel it obviously, but it makes the buzzing sound to let you know mortars are incoming. You can see, you hear the exact same sound in the live action clip they did, trailer, whatever you want to call it, for it. It looks the same and it sounds the same as in game. Once I go through and do these tasks, I'll do a full task guide for you guys explaining how to do it, what it gets you there, and all that kind of stuff. But it's gonna lead to all this stuff. One other thing I wanted to mention before we get further along is we got this task as well. It's install a shitload of Wi-Fi cameras, but it gives you the streamer case. You know, the one that was, if you gave a sub, you got. I know some people might be upset about this. I think this is actually an awesome thing to do. Not everybody has $6 to give, or it's region specific. So not everybody has the money to give to get a case. And it's a cool item that I think everybody should have the ability to get. If you did the sub process and you basically paid for it and supported your streamers, which again, thank you guys for that. That was insane. You get to keep it forever. You get it at the start of the wipe. This is going to be reset every wipe, but it gives you a non-pay to win method to get the item if you didn't get it or if you missed out on it. So I think that BSG does this frequently. This is what they do with most everything, and it is the best way to avoid all of the potential problems around pay to win or unfairness and FOMO and things like that. I think it's awesome. I'm super glad they did it, but it is a lot. It's 20 something cameras. I didn't go through and count, but I think there's a little over 20 cameras in here. You know, you've got several on factory, woods, shoreline, reserve, lighthouse, ground zero. It's pretty well encompassing where you've got to place them. So get at it if you want to do it. Cool little reward, a little bit of XP, and then you don't have to worry about missing out on the streamer case event. Okay, so now AI. They improve Partisan's AI behavior model when traveling long distance and installing tripwires. I talked with Gene a little bit about this down at TwitchCon. I showed him some of my clips about, hey, why does Partisan seem like such a potato head? And I got some pretty good answers on that. It's not really for here, but it has to do with them. They need to tweak stuff. They need to get through things and tweak them, and that's just the process. So this is step 1, step 2, I guess, as they improve that. Improved AI movement routes after taking cover to make them smoother and more diverse. This is just part of that deal where, you know, when AI runs for cover, it kind of seems like it's on a rail. It's one of the few things still now that it's like, okay, that's 100% an AI. That's not a player, because players can't do those really sharp, perfect turns, things like that. So hopefully this just makes it a little bit more immersive and better. Quality of life improvements. Rubles, dollars, euros, and GP coins no longer have found in raid marks. This never really bothered me. I guess I could see some places where it was annoying, but good. I'm sure somebody's really happy they did this. Maybe Jesse. I know Jesse hates found in raid stuff, but I think it's about the found in raid stuff with stacks, but I think it's more about ammo. Balancing changes. There's a lot here. So they added new barters for the following items: the Gazelle and the Zabralo. Now the Gazelle doesn't have plates. So if you go to Ragman, we'll go to level 3. You have the Gazelle right here, but it doesn't have plates. So it gives you a way to get this without breaking the bank. As you can see, they tanked in price. These things were worth a fortune. So the fact that you had to do a task, but you couldn't really get these, it was just this crazy money thingy. So I'm glad they added this. It looks like it's the old barter. I don't quite remember. It had coffee and a golden chain, but I don't remember if it was exactly this. But on top of that, this is actually a pretty good class 3 aramid armor that you can throw plates in now. So if you want to do this, that's a decently cheap barter. You can get the class 4 plates and throw this in, and it gives you another armor choice that has neck protection, as well as full body. It's pretty good coverage. So I suspect we'll see more of these running around. I think this was all in all a positive change. Putting the armor in without plates is a good step. We got the one with the Zabralo, which we needed because you need to have the Zabralo for one of the tasks, and you had no way of getting it. It's the EOD tat, the one that you get, the good times one. It really sucked because you only got one Zabralo until you got way higher level, so you couldn't really do it till then. But now you can. It's proper level to level 4, which is still pretty high, but much more accessible than the Zabralo was before. Increase the amount of compensation for a successful report of a player who violated escape from Tarkov license agreement. This is cheater reports, basically. We'll see. I don't like this. I don't like getting rewarded for reporting cheaters, because there's people that already do it and more people are going to do it. They're just going to report everybody in hopes of getting some extra cash. BSG seems to be okay with it. I'm going to defer to their judgment. I still don't like it. But if you were worried about that, about how much money you got from a cheater report, they increased it. I still doubt it's going to be anywhere near the price of a full kit, because it was like 30, maybe 50, 60,000 before. And to cover a full kit, you have to give somebody like 1 million rubles, 500,000 to 1 million rubles, even on cheap kits. So we'll see. Set the in-raid drop limit for some items to 3. I'm not going to look through the list. This is just stuff you can throw out for your buddies. I don't know if this is an increase or decrease. It's been adjusted. So if you keep an eye out for it, you'll notice adjusted the Vulcan 5 LZSH 5 bulletproof helmet. So this used to be a level 6 helmet. It's been reduced to level 5. Armor points from 99 to 75. They reduced the cost and reduced the wear penalties and increased the spawn chance. This was important in Arena. I don't know why it really matters in Tarkov. Helmet is super rare. It still only has a level 4 face shield. The 6 helmet was kind of crazy, but whatever. It's done. It's there. I don't think this really changes much of anything. Adjusted the task of Punisher Part 5. The ability to hand over any variant to the AK-74. So it used to be the AK-74N. This was super easy. I don't know why they did this. This doesn't make any sense to me. Yes, sure, you can hand any of your AK-74 now, fine. But you could craft the AK-74N, and it was an easy craft. I mean, you still can craft it. You go into the hideout. It's on the workbench right here. It takes, I think it doesn't even take an hour. It's super cheap. You buy the parts off a mechanic. You buy a thing of weapon parts. Boom, you have the task done. The M4 was the harder one, which isn't even that hard now because you can go get them off of rogues. Added the ability to hand over variant of the Makarov pistol. This is fine. So if any Makarov shows up, you can turn that in. I think that's okay. I don't think it mattered too much if it was the very specific one they had. And then added the ability to complete objective P.A.K.A. using P.A.K.A. Soft Armor Rivals Edition. Cool. So you can use this, which means nothing. It's purple. It's class 2. It's more expensive. I don't know why they added that. If the Rivals P.A.K.A. was class 3, it would matter. But the fact that it's only class 2, sure, cool, I guess. Adjusted the Spa Tour Part 3. You can hand over any variation of the WD-40, 100mm or 400mm. That's all right, because this was just an extra step because you had to craft it. I think it was the 40mm before, or the 40ml, which means you had to take the big one and cut it in half, and you could use a little one. So that's okay, kind of a whatever adjustment, I think. And then adjusted the Slaughterhouse task. Added the ability to complete the objective using the Police Baton, which is Kaban's weapon, Tactical Wasteland Gladius, and the Tactical Curry, which is the Unheard Edition thing. I don't see this as a change. I think it's just an update. These were probably not working, and it was supposed to be a melee quest, so now that's a melee quest, you can use it. Replace the ammo given as rewards for various main and operational tasks with the corresponding ammo packs. So I don't know what they changed. It sounds like instead of giving you bullets, they're going to give you the ammo packs, which is cool, I guess. This smells to me like it's the process of getting ready for something else. I don't know what that is. Maybe loose loot ammo, like getting it in from the scav case or whatever. They're getting away from that. I'm not sure. Just kind of an off change. Don't really get, but could mean something. Sounds, obviously, we improved the occlusion of lamp sounds. Now, I don't know what this means, to be honest with you. Occlusion has to do with, I'm not even gonna get into it. I don't know what this means. I'm not even gonna guess. Sure. Improve the occlusion of door and container sounds in first and third person. So hopefully this is just getting some of the stuff with doorways and when you're inside containers, like stuff like that. And it might mean the container sounds of looting, that stuff is working better. There's so many things that are screwed up with sound that I can't pin on, or weird. I shouldn't say screwed up, that are weird, that I can't quite pin exactly what they're talking about because there's so many things it could be. And then they increased the volume of USEC Charlie voice. I guess it was too low. All right, now huge list of changes here. Fix certain cases with the ability to hear the sound of grenades bouncing off obstacles. It's probably the biggest one out there. Somebody throws a grenade at you and it makes no sound, or it's so quiet that the only way you can hear it is if you go back and listen to like a replay and you're like listening for it. So good fix. Hopefully it actually fixes it and grenades aren't completely silent when they land at your feet anymore. Improve the display of items list shown when attempting to sell a container, weapon, and mods that aren't available to sell to traders. So this had to do with, if you hover over, you see how this thing pops up? This used to be huge. This thing would eat up the whole screen over here, and it was just kind of annoying. It looks like they truncated it, which I probably didn't say that right, but it's got the little dots showing you that there's more if you're trying to sell it. So good little quality of life change, just something simple. Fix the MP43 double barrel shotgun reload, causing the animations to freeze and display incorrect in third person. So this was the hands bug if you were reloading the double barrel, the hand freeze bug, lots of words for it. So that's a good fix. There's others that were related to it. Hopefully they've all been addressed, but if you're noticing some with, like, I know healing and some others, let us know in the comments, and make sure you put your bug reports in for them so that they can get them addressed. Fix the freezing when quick dropping a backpack while using a weapon mounted on obstacle or bipod. I had this happen to me like 3 times, and I kept forgetting about it. Alt F4 would fix it, but it was really annoying, so glad they fixed that. Fix the teleporting after jumping over barbed wire while sprinting. Fix the incorrect display of gained experience in the post-raid screens. So a lot of us were noticing this, that you'd say you got like, say you got like 50,000 XP because you killed a bunch of bosses and shit, but then you'd only get like 10 or 15,000. So to me, this sounds like you weren't supposed to get the 50,000 and you're supposed to get the 15. It was just showing it incorrect. I don't know. hopefully it's fixed and there's not a discrepancy between what you think you're getting and what you are getting anymore. Fix several visual and collision issues at various locations. Fix the missing new bear and use set clothing in PvE mode. So you PvE guys that were missing clothing, you have it now. Fix several instances of errors appearing when upgrading a zone or starting a craft in the hideout. So there's lots of weird bugs I noticed with this. Mostly it was just a restart of your hideout or restart of your game and it fixed it. So it wasn't a huge deal, but it was annoying. So hopefully they're all been addressed now, because I'd say there was 4 or 5 of them that happened frequently, which means there was probably double that happened infrequently. Fix the leveling of intelligence skill by crafting items in the hideout. So I don't know if it wasn't doing it. I didn't notice, but crafting is leveling intellect now, it looks like. Cool. I don't know that it matters a ton. It does help with weapon repair and things like that, and armor repair. Maybe you can level up intelligence and it matters. Seems kind of like fluffy to me. Fix an issue causing bots to not respond to a player's scav's commands. Fix the sound of dropping a backpack in first person. Another really annoying, nice change. You'd throw a bag out and it didn't make any sound to you, but everybody else could hear it. So that stuff is always really bad when what's happening on the server and what's happening on the client are not matched. It just leads to all sorts of really bad problems. So fix the incorrect calculation of equipment weight when transferring containers in the inventory. Some bugs with containers and stuff. Kind of funny, to be honest with you, when it was happening. Fix the incorrect text layering on the weapon mastering screen. Fix the clipping of smoke balaclava with OpsCore helmet straps. God, I hope this means they actually fixed the clipping and they just didn't make it where you can't wear them. Can I please have my boonie back? Fix the ballistic plate compatibility with Stitch Profi Stitch Defense Mod 2 plate carrier. Fix the ballistic plate compatibility with Stitch Profi plate carrier version 2. Fix the bullet velocity value of all 12.7 by 55 caliber ammo. So 12.7 by 55 is Ash 12 ammo. I don't know what was wrong. I didn't notice anything, and I do shoot the Ash 12 at long range sometimes, so I'm not quite sure what that's about. If you do know specifically, by all means, let me know, because that's interesting. Fix the examined by default setting for certain ammo packs. So I'm guessing that the ammo packs were showing up examined by default, even though they weren't supposed to be, or maybe vice versa, and they fixed that. And then fix the incorrect collision when a grenade hits a player bot after taking damage. Didn't see this, but that sounds like it would be horrifying or potentially funny or both. So that's the patch. That's everything. Hope this is helpful. We'll get some more content around the mortars and stuff as I can get into it here. Give me a couple of days to figure it out. I am also going to try to go do a forever match. Not really forever, but I'm going to see how long I can stay in raid. See if we can go like a whole stream and never leave raid and just kind of see what happens. It's kind of crazy. We got to come up with some objectives and stuff, reasons to go places or do things. So yeah, I think it'll be cool. We're going to wrap her up there. Quick shout out for my music down below. Go check out the link. It's on Spotify. It's free to listen to, but it still supports me. So you don't have to do anything but listen to pretty decent music. It's great for background. It's lo-fi stuff. And it's free for content creators. If you are one, you can use it in your YouTube videos or your streams. You don't have to worry about DMCAs, takedowns, or copyright strikes. We just ask that you attribute us so folks know where to find it if they like it. But with that, we're done. I wish you guys the best of luck in your raids. Good luck dodging mortars, and we'll see you in Tarkov.